We begin with the very latest on COVID-19 here on island.
Howdy, everybody. I'm Sabrina Salas-Matanani with your latest on containing COVID. New numbers now from the Joint Information Center, as there are now 4 new confirmed cases of COVID-19 on Guam. This brings the total number of confirmed cases to 55. Meanwhile, during a press conference held earlier this afternoon, Governor Lou Leon Guerrero announced that President Donald Trump approved her request for a major disaster declaration for the territory. What this means is that Guam will have access to federal assistance programs. Additionally, the governor announced that several positive patients that were on home isolation have fully recovered.
I would also like to announce that after an assessment by public health, 7 home isolation patients have fully recovered. According to CDC guidelines, this means at least 3 days have passed without fever or additional respiratory issues, and at least 7 days have passed since symptoms first appeared. Despite being no longer infectious, we will continue to monitor their status. However, I must note that our patients are not recovering as quickly as we are discovering new cases. For every person cleared of COVID-19, we are gathering even more confirmations, and recovery varies from person to person. Some will report feeling fine, but others will experience long-term issues related to the infection. However, I am encouraged to see that people are taking this more seriously. In one of our facilities, our quarantine facilities, those who have been cleared to leave earlier than the quarantine period have decided to complete quarantine at the facility, protecting their families and our island. Their decision is something we all need to emulate.
The governor stresses that we are not out of the woods, not even close. As I just reported, there are 4 new confirmed cases of COVID-19 on Guam. This brings the total number of confirmed cases to 55. As for the USS Theodore Roosevelt, national media are reporting that there are now more than 30 confirmed cases of COVID-19. The Navy has indicated that there will be 100% testing of all sailors on board that ship, and there are 5,000, 20 of whom are from Guam. Meanwhile, during today's press conference, the governor did confirm information that we received that the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers is looking to possibly retrofit an existing facility on Guam to serve COVID-affected patients.
And what they're doing is they're offering facilities, because throughout the United States, their healthcare systems, specifically the hospital acute cares, have been overwhelmed and have been they're busting at the seams. There's a lot of overflow, and so what they are doing is they're working with the various governors, and we were offered this, that what they would do is come in and retrofit, say, a facility to be a hospital, and they can do it within like 2 or 3 weeks time. They'll bring in their engineers, they'll subcontract with people here. We are in the process now, Nestor, of working with our medical community and also the TAG. I have asked the TAG to take the lead on this one. So she's been meeting with the various healthcare providers and the healthcare leaders in the various healthcare institutions, and she's going to present a report to me. They can retrofit a facility that can house up to 250 beds. So I was very appreciative with this offer. They are also very focused on our situation here, and they will work as expeditiously as we can to be able to again increase our facility capacity to treat our COVID-19 patients.
The governor is urging everyone to continue practicing social distancing and social isolation, because if we don't, quote, this fight will continue much longer than any of us can prepare for. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Sabrina Salas-Matanani.
In this installment of Boca Box Bites from our friends at Boca Box, they share how to properly wash your produce to ensure it's clean.
Hey Guam, this is Jess from the Boca Box and welcome back to Boca Bites. It is day 7 of quarantine and I've completely stopped shaving, but I also just went to the store and picked up a bunch of groceries for the week. And I wanted to talk to you guys about cleaning and sanitizing your produce and the things that you pick up at the supermarket before it gets into your house. What we like to do is we'll get like a simple disinfectant, either like Lysol wipes or bleach and water, and then we'll wipe down the outside of the bags or anywhere that somebody has been able to touch the product. We'll wipe it down, disinfect it, and then take it into the house and store it in there later. The other thing you want to do with fresh produce is that we take it out of the bags, and then I have a solution of water and a produce cleaner like this, or you can just do soap and water, and just like you kind of wash your hands, you dump all the produce into the water, let it soak for about a minute or two, take them all out, and then what you're going to do is kind of like scrub them and wash them, and then wipe them down and then bring them into the house. What this does is it helps to minimize the exposure that anyone has had to the coronavirus, because the virus can live on plastic and metal objects for, a couple days. So we want to take every precaution to keep our families safe and just make sure that we're washing and sanitizing our vegetables and everything that we're bringing into the house from the grocery store. So yeah, we're here for the next couple of days. It's very, very tedious, but there's nothing else for us to do. So until next time, I'll see you guys on Boca Bites.
And since we're all safely and smartly inside, our friends from Custom Fitness have some helpful workout tips that you can do right at home along with this. It's called daily maintenance.
Hey Guam, this is Ryan Class from Custom Fitness, licensed physical therapist. If you've been doing your part, you've been staying at home, and we'd like to thank you for that. Now, with that staying at home comes a whole lot of sitting. With that sitting comes a whole lot of inactivity. So what we wanted to do today is try to go over a body maintenance program for you, especially for the lower body. So as we begin to sit and stay stagnant a little bit longer, our body tends to tighten up. So that tightening leads to a little bit of pain, maybe discomfort, especially for that lower body, maybe the lower back. As we get up, we start trying to get a little bit of those aches and pains. And we want to show you how we can kind of decrease that and just kind of get you moving. Today, all we need is a mat. You can use a towel or even a rug. And then all you need is either a bag or some type of towel if you have one. So we're going to go ahead and start on our lower back. And when you do these, what you want to be doing is you want to hold these at home for at least 45 to 60 seconds. I know it seems a lot of time, but I'm pretty sure you spend a lot of time doing nothing. So what we want to be able to do is we're going to do a single knee chest. And all that means is that from this position, you're just going to go ahead, lay on your back. You can keep this knee bent if you want. You can use 2 hands. And just going to go ahead and pull that knee to the armpit. Right in here. If you have a lot of flexibility, you're just going to go ahead and grab underneath and go ahead and pull. You want to relax your hand. Remember, stretching should not be painful, maybe a little bit of discomfort. From this sequence, all we're going to do next is go ahead and bend this opposite knee. I'm going to take this ankle, grab it if you can, take my hand, I'm just going to go ahead and push that down. Actually, it feels really good. Remember, at home, you want to hold these anywhere between 45 to 60 seconds for each position. From this position, all you want to do is go ahead and you can pick up your foot. You can leave the knee bent if you have some issues with that. And you're just going to go ahead and pick up. Using that towel or bag, you can go ahead and strap around the back of the knee. Or You can strap around the foot. Nice and relaxed. Breathing, very nice and easy flowing. And hold that for about another 10 seconds. You can come up higher if you want. And then all I want to do is from this position, keep my foot flat. And all I'm going to do is take my opposite hand and go ahead and pull back. Back stays on the ground, nice and relaxed. Remember, all these stretches can be done modified as well. So if you're having some issues with these, you could just drop the leg a little bit and just try to get over. All we're looking for is some movement. And then all we do is, we want to then go ahead and go the opposite way. So just from this position, we're just going to again drop that back knee down. And all I'm doing is using this opposite foot to go ahead and push that knee towards the ground. Now that we got the lower back to loosen up just a little bit, what we want to do is we're going to go ahead and put both our feet together, and we're just going to rock now with our knees. Hands will be just directly right on the ground, and I'm just going to rock back with my knees so ankles like kind of stay on the ground. And only go as far left and right as you feel comfortable. You're going to feel a little bit of tightness all the way through the lower back. Again, all we want to do is keep you moving. If this is all you can do, then that's fine. But the goal, ideally, is to just go ahead and go all the way to the ground. Next position, if you can, you're going to go ahead and get to your knees. Go ahead and sit right in here, and then all we're going to do is go ahead and reach forward. Drop the hip, reach forward, relax the chest, and drop the chest. Some modifications, if you can't do this, you could use a door frame or a sink, and you'll do this in a standing position. And all we want to do is from here, you can reach across the body, go left, and go right. And from this, all we want to then do is go ahead and get on our bellies. You could get on your forearms. And ideally, what we want to be able to do is relax the lower back and get all the way through. If you notice, we only did one side today. So all we want to be able to do is go ahead and go through the opposite. You'll go through this sequence at least twice. Remember, holding these stretches for 45 to 60 seconds. And again, guys, let's keep moving. Let's stay positive. Let's stay healthy. We got this one.
All right, stay tuned. Next on Weekend Edition, we have trend spotting and also still to come, house to home.
Get up-to-the-minute news, plus access to alerts, streaming radio, promotions, and more on your mobile device by downloading the KUAM News mobile app, available at the App Store now. Green Energy Solutions, Inc. would like to congratulate GU Self-Storage along with Calvo Enterprises in doing their part by going green with a monthly power reduction by over 80%. Power consumption before installation was 39,700 kilowatt hours. After installation ended in 6,221 kilowatt hours, which resulted in savings over $10,000 a month. GESI also offers LED lights, solar thermal VRF air conditioning, and solar photovoltaics. Visit our website and let us help you save.
Ruby Ruby Tuesday Guam is still preparing the dishes you love for either curbside carryout or delivery. Call them at 647-7828 or 647-7829 for curbside carryout service with a smile. For delivery, download the free Grab and Grub app and follow the instructions to get Ruby Tuesdays delivered to your door. Stay safe and healthy, Guam.
I hope everyone is doing what they can to stay healthy and maintain social distancing and self-isolation during this time. I have a lot coming up for you next on Trend Spotting. Hafid everyone, I'm Cami Aguirola and welcome back to another episode of Trend Spotting. Here are the topics that had you talking this week. While the island remains in a heightened sense of tension with the pandemic and required social isolation, one family is left dealing with unimaginable grief as their loved one, the first casualty of the coronavirus era, is no longer with them. And all during a painful time when being able to gather close together as a group would be most meaningful in the world. 68-year-old Doreen Jesus passed away at Guam Memorial Hospital. In a news conference, officials say the woman had come in contact with someone who had traveled and tested positive. The patient had multiple underlying conditions prior to the infection, which can suppress a person's immune system. After praying the rosary online for others to share in, Glenn Lujan described Auntie Doring as one of the best teachers he had ever worked with at Ordok Chalampago Elementary. And her niece, Yolanda Tenorio, will always remember her voice. As for the dozens of other infected patients, officials say none are exhibiting symptoms of distress at this time. Many of you expressed your condolences to the family. During a Pentagon briefing, Acting Navy Secretary Thomas Modly confirmed that the USS Theodore Roosevelt was pulling into Guam after several sailors tested positive for the coronavirus. Modly said they are in a process of testing every member of the crew. Reportedly, more than 20 have already tested positive. 4 sailors were medevaced to Naval Hospital on Wednesday and are in isolation. He added no one on the ship will be allowed to leave anywhere into Guam other than the pier side. KUAM asked the governor about the potential of the ship arriving into Guam during a media briefing on Thursday. However, she deferred comment to the military. The USS Theodore Roosevelt is described as a floating city with about 5,500 Navy personnel on board, 20 of who are originally from Guam. The aircraft carrier is home ported in San Diego, California, and was recently on liberty on Guam on February 7th. Here are some of your comments on Instagram. At League One said, quarantine all the sailors when they dock. Not a single one steps outside. At Art and Jackie said, what can we do? They brought the 4 sailors here already. I just pray they don't dock the entire ship on Guam. Passengers who arrived from the Philippines last week and were forced into a 14-day quarantine are wondering why they're now asked to acknowledge their quarantine as voluntary. We've been chronicling Dave Sablan's COVID quarantine, and on day 5, Dave Sablan confirmed that they were moved from their quarantine-approved facility in Tumuning to Hotel Row in Tumon.
They informed us that we would start vacating our last hotel at 8 p.m. last night, shortly after dinner. So they started moving us in groups, small groups. But, this is like a bad sci-fi flick.
Just keeps getting worse.
Here are some of your comments on Facebook. Patrick Teague said, it is unethical and wrong to require people who are forcibly detained for everyone's health and safety to state that it was voluntary. Pam Cruz said, on the next press conference, please someone ask again about the passengers from Manila mandatory quarantine. It is still unclear and no one can give clarification. It seems like they're all trying to beat around the bush. And Vanessa Taitanotova said, either way, quarantine is required to keep the community safe, especially if you came from a COVID-19 area. filling the bellies of some of the medical staff and first responders, and as a way of saying thank you for their service to the island and the community. Staff from Eat Street Grill, California Pizza Kitchen, Beach and Shrimp, Little Pika's, and Pika's Cafe made deliveries of sandwiches, pizza, pasta, and salads. According to Jerry Pastonas, Director of Operations for International Dining Concepts LLC, on Saturday, food was dropped off to American Medical Center in Manilao and Upper Tumon and Guam Memorial Hospital. On Sunday, another round of deliveries were made to the Tumuning Fire Station, GMH, and to the nurses working at Guam International Airport. It was their way of extending their gratitude for all that they do and continue to do during this crazy time. Here are some of your comments on Instagram. At Mrs. Taidigui said, "Love, love, love seeing this kind of news. God bless you all." And at TNCNC said, "You guys deserve this. Thank you for your services and your time away from your life at home. You are more than appreciated."
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
As our island continues to band together to protect our families and communities from the effects of COVID-19, we at GTA want to assure you that we are here for you. Should you need to contact us for any reason, you can chat with us online at www.gta.net, connect with us on Facebook, or call us at 644-4482. Families are at the heart of what we do, and we are committed to keep you and yours safe, healthy, and connected. GTA, we start with you.
When we face an uncertain path, when we struggle with life's challenges, and when the unexpected happens, it's a beautiful day. We rely on the people we trust, it's a beautiful, who we can always count on. And to the ones who give us the most care throughout the years. Rely on Calvo's Select Care to give you the comfort and security you need wherever you are. Calvo's Select Care, health care that's always there for you.
Presented by Remax Diamond Realty.
Okay, everybody, we are going to start this episode of House to Home on a rather mathematical note, because we're going to talk about inequality. And specifically, I want to tell you guys that being pre-approved for a house loan and being pre-qualified, according to my two BFFs here that are the mavens of real estate and everything, being pre-qualified, Liz and Gina, and being pre-approved are not the same thing.
Not the same
as far as the
Not
bank's
same,
concerned.
no.
Which ultimately means as far as you're concerned, right?
Right.
And as far as the seller's concerned,
Yeah, that's true too.
which is more important than what we think.
So where does the demarcation line lie when it comes to being pre-approved and pre-qualified?
Well, with pre-qualification, just bear in mind, if you're going to the bank, you're going to have to bring a number of documents. Your last 2 years' tax return, your last 2 pay stubs, employment verification. So there's background information that the loan officer will need. And what they do is they look at all the numbers and they figure, based on the price of the property that you're purchasing, would it meet the would it meet the threshold for giving a loan? So the pre-qualification process is just the initial step. So you need all of that. There are other steps that are needed in order to get you pre-qualified. So you need all these documentation in order to get that done. So if you don't have it, I mean, we try to get our buyers ready when they go to the bank to have as much information as possible. And then, of course, they do the credit checks. But the loan approval process is totally different because they will run through, again, then they'll check the numbers again, do a credit check, and do a number of things to make sure that you are qualified for that loan.
Okay, and Gina, I think the number of documents that have to be filed probably exceed the number of polka dots on your very lovely dress today. So.
No, I don't think so.
No, because that is a very nice outfit, by the way. But I mean, it is a significant amount of paperwork. It's not beyond reason, because obviously you guys help your clients every step of the way, and people do this all the time.
Well, the thing that I want to tell
But most people would
people
assume, as they say, okay, when I'm pre-qualified, I'm pre-approved right away, and that's a misconception.
Not necessarily.
It's not necessarily the same thing, but you know, and my husband and I, we just closed a transaction recently, and I was overwhelmed by the amount of paperwork that was required. But here's the deal: suck it up, make it happen, because you know what? You need that loan. Like, we needed the loan, and I got frustrated at the amount of documents that was asked of us. But if I don't turn it in, because the bank cannot give you the loan if their dots are not dotted and the T's crossed.
You know what,
so they're in the same pickle that you're in. They don't want to ask for all those things either, but they don't have a choice.
You know what, my grandfather, God rest his soul, I can just hear him telling me from Agana Heights, he'd be like, okay, boy, stop crying. How bad do you want that house?
That's exactly the thing.
Yeah. If this is what they say has got to be done, it's got to be done.
And the banks are governed by federal requirements as well.
Yeah.
So they have to follow a process.
And what we want to stress today is it is a seller's market. And that means there are more buyers out there going after the same piece of property than there are sellers who want to sell. And because of that, you know, the difference, between getting pre-approved and pre-qualified is so significant. When you go in and you talk to your loan officer, we want to make sure that you ask all the right questions. And one of them is, you know, you asked me a series of questions. Does this mean that if I come back with my purchase agreement, I go out there, fall in love with the house, have my agent write up the offer, and I come back, that I'm guaranteed I'm going to get that loan? If the answer is not yes, then ask, well, what do I need to do so that when I do come back, the answer is going to be yes? I already know you're going to get approved. Just bring me a purchase agreement.
But Gina's right. We are in a seller's market that the buyers have to be prepared. They're going to have to get everything in place and ask, like she says, ask the loan officer for what else you need. And one of the critical parts too is the credit check. And you have to also tell them what credit card payments, bills you have, what loans out there are outstanding as well. Because sometimes, even if they say, okay, you're good, you may have to take care of some other bills in order to make it good. So if you're going to pre-qualify for, let's say, a $400,000 loan.
That's the other side of the bank.
Yes.
That's the office
if
down
you're going to
the hall.
qualify for $400,000, but you need to get rid of this particular loan that's on the side. So there's a number of things. And as Gina puts it, we really want to stress, a lot of buyers stand in line, and sometimes we're getting multiple offers. So you're going to have to position yourself where you're ahead of everyone else, especially when there's competition.
So the bank will actually tell you you've got existing debt obligations. Like I may have, say, like you've got an old school loan, or I went on a vacation with a bunch of my friends, so I took out like a personal loan for that. They're like, okay, we can qualify you, or you do meet the criteria where we'll sign off on this $400,000 loan, given that you clear these existing debt obligations. And after that, smooth sailing for you.
A good loan officer will actually walk you through that and give you some ideas of what you need to eliminate.
Is there okay, I'm thinking in accounting terms now, right? Like, as business people, we all know the term net 30, right? Like, you have 30 days to pay and here's the obligation. Is a loan officer essentially making me an offer or a deal and just saying, okay, I'm going to qualify you for this amount. It's a 6-digit deal and everything like that, but you got to clear this other debt, but my offer is only good for like 30 days? Or is does it work like that? Or they say once you get it done, come back in a year and it'll still
No,
be good?
it depends on your circumstances, but it doesn't work that way.
Okay.
You go in and I really stress that the other thing you should think about is don't just go to one loan officer. Go to a couple, compare. And if
shop around.
Shop around, but if you're working with a good agent, your agent can ask you a series of really good questions to figure out what you need, and based on your needs, tell you, okay, you know what, you go to this place and this place and this place. Because not all the banks offer the same type of loans, nor is their process the same. So it is important. But and I find that, if a customer walks into the bank, and this is not, I'm not saying that all banks are like this, but this is what I've seen generally happens. A customer walks in and says, I want a loan of this amount, and this is what I'm thinking. I don't find too many loan officers that will sit there and get creative and say, okay, you know what? If you do this, this is what we can offer you. If you do this, this is what we can offer you. And so I find that when my customers come to me, that's actually what I do. What are you thinking about? Yeah. What are your goals? How much do you have saved up?
Okay.
And just because you have the money saved up doesn't necessarily mean you want to use all of it.
And let us end on that point, because by no means are we telling people that you shouldn't do this. It's just be aware of the amount of work that is involved, because it's worth it in the end.
Yeah.
And do it.
But in the end, also,
real
the
quick.
bank will give you a loan commitment. The loan commitment that says, yes, we're going to give you this loan, but it's subject to providing A, B, C, D. It's a conditional loan commitment that says we will give you the loan, but you need to provide all these documentations to give it a go.
Understood. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see you next time.
It's a celebration at Cars Plus Guam. During our Jeep celebration event, receive up to $2,000 off on the all-new 2020 Jeep Gladiator, the most capable off-road mid-size pickup truck. Customize your Gladiator the way you want it. Call 477-7807 or visit our website and get pre-approved online at carsplusguam.com today.
Hafa, I'm Bernie Valencia with Matson. Our local Matson team understands that these are very trying times for everyone. Matson's top priority, like yours, is to keep our families safe and healthy and ensure you have what you need. We'd like to give you peace of mind that Matson's service continues unscheduled and uninterrupted. Matson is committed to our weekly service from the United States West Coast to Honolulu into Guam and Saipan. We are working with the Port Authority of Guam and providing the capacity and services our customers need so they can continue to meet your needs. Matson will take all appropriate measures to ensure continuity of service into Guam and Saipan. When we work together to take care of our family and neighbors, we will emerge from this as a stronger island community.
This public service announcement was brought to you by the Port Authority of Guam, KUAM Communications, and Matson.
And before we close out the news tonight, our latest round of birthday shout-outs from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club.
Weekends are awesome if your birthday falls on either Saturday or Sunday, and we've got 4 people that we want to say happy birthday to. Starting off with Kiara Santiago, who celebrates birthday number 20 this weekend. To our queen, coming from the family, they say, we love you so much. And happy birthday number 13 to Brianna Chovich, to our Miss Preteen Guam 2019, and our daughter Brianna. We love you, baby girl. We hope you have a wonderful day. Born on the 29th are Jeremy DeLeon, so we hope you have a wonderful birthday, and that comes from all of us at KUAM and your friends at Cold Stone Creamery. And Jack Marquez Fields. Happy 37th birthday, son. We love you, says your family. And hope all of you guys have wonderful birthdays. And remember, please stay inside, wash your hands often, and be good to each other.
And as always, you too can be a part of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club by registering online on KUAM.com. And please make sure to include your name, your photo, and your birthday. And that's all time we have from all of us here at Guam's News Network. Thanks for watching. Have a safe weekend, everyone.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Green Energy Solutions, Inc. Visit GESIGuam.com or call 647-8111 for more details on how we can help your business.